Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Finish the Story. I am Keegan Ray. I'm joined here by my co-host, producer, and best friend, Mr. Trent Ludzak. How you doing, bro?
Better than you, Mr. Stumbles.
I know, dude. I told you. I waited all day to smoke. I don't think it's helping me. You already know when we're on this side of the table, it's a motherfucking guest episode, and I'm excited for our guest today. We have the hilarious Gabbie Watts. How you doing?
I'm good. Hello, fans. How's it going? I'm so good.
You're the first person that's even acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Most people just don't even say anything about it on the table, which I think is weird.
Yeah, they're like, no, those guys have a severed hand. That makes sense.
Some people are just used to having severed hands on their tables.
Yeah. But then
I'm
it's
always
like
ready to explain it, and nobody asks.
But then it's like really nerdy because it's Chuck Palahniuk, and so it is who's like niche gross writer. So it's like it's a literary hand, really.
It is.
If you would consider what he writes literature, I don't know.
I wasn't familiar with his work until you started telling us about his short stories.
Well, he wrote Fight Club.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying the short stories.
Oh, yeah.
That's where my knowledge starts and stops with that guy.
This Fight Club?
It's Fight Club. And I haven't read it. I just watched the movie a couple times.
Yeah, like
maybe
10 years ago.
Maybe liked it a little too much in high school, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Everybody has that phase. Boondock Saints, you have that phase as a guy. You do it.
Yeah, when I was a guy.
Yeah.
Slide
back
through
in the
that
day.
one.
No, the worst is when you're trying to show somebody that. You're trying to show a lady that you want. Like you're like, dude, Snatch is a great movie. And they're just like, dude, I don't want to watch this.
Ooh, we had all the dudes at my high school would watch. What's his guy? His name is Guy. He's the British guy who does all the Cockney movies. Where they're just all talking like this and you can't understand whatever that Guy Ritchie, those movies. Yeah. That's what the dudes were doing. And then I would go and watch them and be, because I would try to be one of the fellas sometimes. You know, I'm a pick-me girl, which is why you're having me on the pod, I'm sure. And so I was trying to be with the dudes, and then I would watch those movies and I'd be like, actually, no, I'm going to hang out with the girls again. I can't. I was like, I don't know what they're saying in this movie.
Yeah.
So just hang out with the ladies and watch Pride and Prejudice like every day, basically.
Yeah.
That's the two genders, Pride and Prejudice and Guy Ritchie.
It's dude Pride and Prejudice. It really is.
It really is.
It really is. Yes.
It's violence and accents that you don't understand.
Yeah, lots of enemies to lovers tropes, or just enemies to more enemies.
Nah, more like losers tricking losers. Which, guys, that's fun for guys. We like seeing that.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't think I've ever seen Pride and Prejudice.
Well, good thing I brought
Neither have I, yeah.
What if I just had a little TV that had a VHS player?
Reeled in like a substitute.
And it's like, actually, this is what we're doing on the podcast now. Sorry, it's my show now, and we just I make men watch Pride and Prejudice.
The story I brought is Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. Yeah, it's a personal family tale, you know. Me and my 5 sisters, you know, we went to this ball, and then all these rich guys were there. And then I was like, look at that rich guy. And then he was like, she's ugly. But then we fell in love weirdly. The end.
That's the movie?
That's it. That's all of Pride and Prejudice. He was like, she's not that pretty. And then eventually he's like, I really like this bitch. Let me propose. And then she's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And then later, he mends all of his evil ways. And then she does too.
How does he amend?
Well, he kind of broke up her
really
sister
nice
and her boyfriend, and he got them back together, basically. And then also there was a misunderstanding about, you know, like his younger sister, this guy that he grew up seduced his younger sister, and then she was like all messed up about it. But then Elizabeth, the main lady, she didn't know what the fuck was up, you know. So he had to explain that. That's why hearsay. You gotta
this
check
is like
facts.
Explaining Game of Thrones to somebody.
Yeah.
Like this must be what I sound like when I try to talk to Dune. Talk like Dune with people who have no idea.
Yeah, trying to explain Dune is tough.
Later on the pod, I made a sandworm costume. It's in my car.
Really?
So that's what you're being for Halloween? Because that's a great.
That is.
It looks very dumb, but it's fun because I was wearing it around last night, and it goes all the way out to here, and so and it's just like a tube I'm looking through, and then so all the people are like overwhelmed because I'm like talking to them at a normal distance, but it seems like my face is like a foot ahead, and then you're just really close. And close talkers, I don't like that, so I understand everyone's discomfort.
Yeah.
Also, I have a weird hand, so people are always weird about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close talkers is a weird thing. It is a bizarre. Like people do it at my job. They like come in like they're whispering their order to you at the bar. You're like, get away from me. Why are you so close to me? Yeah.
They're the worst people. We should exterminate them.
Yeah. And they always have bad breath. I think, or maybe just
Always.
everyone has bad breath. You just don't realize it because you're not so close.
I think everybody has some sort of breath, whether it be bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean, brother. Some sort of breath. We all got it.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're dead. That's
Yeah.
what it
And then
is.
you're really stinky, though.
yeah. You got other smells to worry about at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't worrying about much. Or are you? I don't know. We don't know what happens when you die.
That's true. That would suck if you were just locked in your rotting
Like,
corpse.
fuck. This is even worse than I thought.
that would be awful. Yeah, we talked about waking up during surgery. That would just be forever.
Yeah. No, that would be PTSD immediately, I think.
Ugh.
Is if you woke up in the middle of surgery.
What do you think is the worst way to die? We've been talking about that all October.
The worst way, of a broken heart. No, I'm just kidding. Worst way up. Well, I mean, I think about the drowning versus burning in flames thing a lot. I mean, I feel like drowning would probably be better. Flames seems bad, but at the same time, I'm really freaked out by drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike other people who are totally chill. Everyone else is very chill. Well, I mean, there's all those like various torture methods. Being flayed alive would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because often, and then they like back in the Middle Ages and stuff when they were doing all that shit, they were just so creative with what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like they would flay you in a specific way to keep you alive as long as possible. Starting at the toesies. Because if you start at the face, they're going to die quicker.
It goes fast.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
head bleeds a lot.
Ooh, or this one where it would be like a long like lance or something, or like long pole, and it's butthole up through mouth that they stab, like a little
Yeah.
skewer, like a little roasted
Like a
pig.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, being roasted like a pig on a skewer, that would probably be a bad way to die.
Yeah, that's a bad way.
So
I think that would
Vlad
take a
was into
long
that.
time too. Being impaled through your ass.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's a long, like,
yeah.
you're going to survive for a long time.
Well, that's like Spanish donkey is the scariest, I think.
Which one's that?
That's the one where it's just you're sitting on a wedge
Oh,
and
and
your
then you
feet
just
aren't touching the ground, and then they just tie weights to your ankles, and then it
Ah,
just slowly
That's a bad
cuts
one.
you
cuts
in
you in
half.
half. Yeah.
They had too much time back then thinking
They
about all
had too
these
much time
things.
and no repercussions. They could just practice and
Yeah.
try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. Oh, this was I'm gonna say this is a fun execution. That this happened at the Tower of London in like 16 something, and it was this lady. She was a lady pirate. Go
Okay.
ladies, yay!
Hell
She
yeah.
was a lady pirate.
Ladies
she was
can
a
steal stuff just
Yeah.
as well as men.
Exactly. Thank you. This is a feminist Pride and Prejudice podcast now. But anyway, so she was a pirate, and then she was in prison, and then her guard fell in love with her, and I mean that's cool to
Yeah.
seduce
Yeah.
a man on the inside,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then
well,
he-
tale as old as time.
yeah,
Yeah,
tale is
that
old
just
as time.
happened.
It's basically an enemies to lovers story, you know? And then he tries to get them to like escape, but then they catch them, and so they execute him. And then they give her a pirate's death, which is what they do is they tie her to the dock at low tide, and then they just wait until
Oh,
it's
that would
high
suck.
tide, and then she drowns. So it's just like very slow drowning.
God damn, that sucks.
That's so sinister.
That's a
Yeah.
bad way to go.
And then all the British people are drinking tea. You know,
I was
they're
going
like,
to say,
oh,
they're
ho,
just
ho, ho.
hanging out watching you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So very fun. Lots of ways. So yeah, there's a lot of unfortunate ways to die. I would say
Yeah.
it's hard to narrow in on
The
just
one where they put you in that little metal thing and they heat the metal so it doesn't burn you. It's not like burning alive.
Oh,
they just
yeah, they
slowly
just
heat
cook
the metal.
you?
Yeah, they just
Oh,
cook
like
you.
inside the bowl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they hear it and it amplifies your little screams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah,
fun.
they had like the mouth, like a tube out the mouth that
What?
would funnel the sound out.
Oh my god, dude. That's
They just didn't have live music a lot. I mean, they had live music, but they didn't have recorded music, and so they're like, "This is just what we'll listen to today." Like
that
instead
was
of,
metalcore before metalcore.
yeah, like they didn't have Spotify. They just had a roasted man in a bowl.
Yeah.
Duh. That's
And
my
if-
favorite
yeah.
band.
That's,
But it's really hard to get that. Cause
I don't
people
know.
hate when
Jeff
you-
on Tuesday, I thought had a better set.
That's fucked up. Yeah, just listening. The people that watched it. It's like, what was the people that were doing all the executions like? Like, if you're just killing people every single day is your job.
That's just another. You get used to it.
Yeah, that's
right.
right. I mean, do you think they get sick of it?
Do you think rent was high or low near that thing? You know what I mean? Like was that like being by the airport, or was it like
being by the train?
or was it like being by Mercedes Benz? Like,
Well, it just depended because the Romans, they like to be creative, like with their crucifying. So they would just put them in, like they would go along the road outside of there. They'd just be like, "Hey, look what we do here." Don't
Roman billboards.
That's exactly. So
Wow.
or then also people would just come out to executions a lot. People were just like that was. I think it was like in England. It was like on Monday or something they would do all the executions, and so then people were like, "Hey, you're not a tailor anymore. You're not a barber anymore. We're going to the fucking execution."
They were tailgating, dude.
Yeah, and it was like 100,000 people. You couldn't even see. It'd be like at a Taylor Swift concert, but instead there's the gallows.
Yeah, you're rail riding for the execution. That's crazy.
That was the Taylor Swift concert of yore.
That was the Eras tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Dying.
Yeah, I think a guillotine would be cool to see.
So is that a ton of blood though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like
dog. It's so much.
So is there a splash zone?
Probably.
Yeah, it's like a Gallagher concert. Yeah, like the first 2 rows.
But it's good with guillotines. You got to make sure if there's a long line of people getting executed that day, you got to get to the front because then it's sharp still.
Yeah.
Because by they get to the end, they have to do it like multiple times to get your head off.
Dude,
that
fucking suck.
Yeah.
So you just want to cut ahead, so you can get your
you
like
want
a
a
nice
clean cut.
clean.
Yeah, you're cutting line.
Yeah.
What do scissors do?
Oh my God! What if when they had axes when they would execute people? What if it was like the guy's first day? And he was like, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed again." That would be so bad.
I have actually heard from the most reliable source podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is all factual information that we've just said.
Well, a lot of them I think it's assumed that a lot of executioners were drunk a lot of the time, so that probably was pretty common. Where the guy would miss or like
just
not
cut
get
your
it all
fucking
the
ear
way.
off.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it. You would have to be drunk though. It'd
Yeah.
just be a
If your
miserable
job
fucking
was
day.
to behead people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if he was super into it? Like a
Yeah.
giddy drunk? Like a Jimmy Fallon? He's like...
My favorite is the Blazing Saddles executioner.
Yeah. God. That's a way... Just to think that was... I wonder if they made good money. Like, I wonder if that was like a sought-after position.
I don't think so. Probably not.
Or they just find one guy and they're like, all right, freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
something
well,
you
my
can do.
dad was an executioner. His
Yeah.
dad was an executioner. And we're just the guys who killed people.
I'm taking over the family business.
Yeah, we're just doing,
Yeah, and would you hang out with that guy? Like, if he came into the bar, you're like, wow, this fucking dickhead.
No, I mean, we would have him on the podcast, but
Yeah,
I don't
he'd
know
be
if we
on
would
the
hang
pod.
out,
Yeah.
Well, there's the people today. I think there's like the guy. There's this one guy who makes all of the lethal injections for the state of Texas, and they need a lot of them because they be executing people. And I heard this like interview with him, and it was crazy because he was just like, he's like, yeah, I knew what it was for, and the thing is, he didn't even get like extra money, like at the business that he worked at. That it was like a pharmaceutical company. Like basically, they just asked him to be like, you make all the lethal injections without any sort of like additional monetary compensation. He was like, yeah, I'll just do that. That's fine. Jesus. That's a fucked up guy. He was like, I don't need a bonus
What
for
a psychopath.
this, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And he kind of sounded like this in the interview. I was like, you look.
Yeah. He's got no thoughts about it either.
No.
Yeah.
He's just
He's like,
sleeping
"Oh,
right
yeah."
through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy I don't think thinks about much.
Damn, I never really thought about the chemist that does that.
Yeah.
They have to keep that company like secret, right? You can't.
Yeah, and
There's no way you could tell everybody who the company is.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
Nestle,
think
dude, for sure.
Nestle.
they might have said the name of the company. I can't remember. Again, on a podcast. But it was the liberal New York Times. So, I don't know if they had some more factual. I don't know if they had more factual stuff. But of course, I have bad memory, so I actually can't remember. But that guy, they didn't say what his name was, but he seemed pretty not phased about it.
Yeah.
I feel
He's
like
like,
that
why do you want
guy's-
to talk to me about this? This is boring. And yeah. I think that
kill
kills.
the people.
What else?
But
That guy. That's a Greg.
What do you mean?
That guy's name is Greg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
That's
a famous Greg.
that's my assumption.
Old Greg. It's old.
It's old Greg.
Old Greg.
The mighty Boosh, old Greg.
Wow.
Yeah, that was early internet.
Do you remember the beginning of the internet when Al Gore made it or whatever?
I just remember that video about the globe, and it's the guy going, "I'm tired. Fire the missiles."
I'll fire the missiles and I take a nap. That was a good time. And then the crab. There's all those crab guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Now it's all just ISIS beheading videos.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad to know what your algorithm is.
Yeah.
It's just beheading.
It's actually still there. I keep watching them, so it just keeps feeding them, you know?
yeah, my algorithm gets fucked up because I watch things I hate, you know, and you'll just watch
Mm-hmm.
like, and then you get up and you're like, this is just ruining my morning. I just look at my newsfeed and I'm just upset.
Yeah. I just sometimes can't understand like the trad wives or like women with Stanley cups, like people who buy or like the overconsumption core where it's like you buy all these other like these containers to put your other containers in that container. I look at those and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But that's my whole feed now. It's just like
exactly.
we're gonna put this ice in this ice container and we're gonna take the cherries out of the bag and put them in another bag. It's like, but you already have a bag.
Yeah. My girlfriend's been sending me like influencer parents because we just had kids.
Oof.
So she'll send me stuff that's just.
You had them all at once?
We had 2 girls, twins.
Twins.
Yeah, all at once.
All at once.
That's a fun way to put that.
At the same time?
Yeah. At the same time.
Which one's better?
Oh man, my girlfriend gets so mad at me. She says I'm picking favorites. I think Emma. She seems to be a lot.
I think
chiller.
she says like
money's
she
on
thinks
Emma?
I'm picking favorites. Emma. That's who it is.
No, one is super sweet, but she is fucking whiny.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna be completely different. I have no idea.
We'll
yeah,
see.
well, you could give Trent one of them and see.
You should not do that.
I could hang out with the guys down the street who chased my car as I got here. That could be fun.
I cannot believe that happened.
But not Emma, the other one.
Yeah, Ava.
Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I'll take Ava. She'll be, you know.
She'll be chill, you know? She'll be cool chilling.
Just chill, dude.
She's going to have a podcast.
Yeah.
Baby talk.
Yeah, do it on Bluey
Yeah.
every week.
That's what I'll do. Every time she just starts making sound, I'll just put a mic in front of her and leave the room.
Yeah. She's going to have a Tubi special in no time.
Yeah. She'll make it far, I bet.
Yeah.
Get her started early.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Just dealing with that.
Dealing with those.
Dealing with that.
Fatherhood,
Oh, just not sleeping.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, that's great. Congrats.
No. You
Yeah.
don't have to say that.
I feel like I haven't noticed you get more tired in the last
You just
couple
start
weeks.
dealing with it, man. It's crazy. It's just a thing that goes away. It's like, I don't know. You just
Well,
don't.
the stakes are really high, so I feel like that gives you like some motivation.
Quitting
to like,
drinking has helped.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
that fucking. I cannot imagine being hungover dealing with children in the morning.
yeah,
I think that's when babies get shaken.
yeah.
Like hungover, just like I don't know how people do it.
Yup.
All right, did you bring a story today?
Oh, I got a story.
Yes.
Let's do it, boys.
Cue Pride and Prejudice.
Well, maybe in honor of you not drinking anymore, we can do a drinking story. How about that?
That'll work.
Yeah.
All right, here's the scene. The scene of the story. All right. Here's the thing. I was sober on and off for the past 2 years because I realized I had a bit of an issue. Just a little bit of a drinking problem. But the thing is, I know, you know Richie Satori, who does the sober shows around town?
Yeah.
He's great. He does a lot of shows. But sometimes he does book... He booked me on shows that I probably shouldn't have been at because there's different levels of sobriety, I think. So one time he had me doing a show in Conyers for a bunch of like pretty religious, it was like a religious recovery group, mostly black people who had been addicted to crack. And let's just say that me as a little white girl wibble alcoholic, I didn't have much to say that was inspiring. Just being like, sometimes drinking makes me sad.
Sometimes
You know?
I have too many White Claws.
Yeah, and then there is, yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes I feel depressed the next day and will be anxious. Meanwhile, the comic before me told all these amazing stories about her crack babies and stuff. And I was like,
God
I got to
damn
follow
it.
the crack babies
Yeah,
bit.
like-
Fuck. But anyway, this story is a time that I look back on. I'm like, Gabbie, maybe you should have realized you had a drinking issue back then. So basically what happened, this was like 2021, spring 2021, and I had gotten my second COVID vaccine. It was like 2 weeks after getting the vaccine, which is when it's supposed to be, you have like immunity or whatever, and it's like, oh, if you get COVID now, you probably won't die, which that was crazy how, for a long time we were like, we could die getting the illness. That's crazy, and lots of people did. But so I had the vaccine, and then 2 weeks after that, me and my boyfriend were like, excellent, we're good. We can go out on the town now. So we went out on the town, Cabbage Town, specifically out on the town. We went to Elmere.
What a cool town to go.
Yeah, what a cool Cabbage Town specifically. A quaint.
Smells a little weird, but
yeah, it's a quaint little town that's now, by town I mean neighborhood, that's now very expensive. Classic, quaint little places. They're now very expensive. So we went to Astoria, which is a dive bar known for having cocaine, obviously. Yeah. And so we went there. They had this whole outdoor porch set up. Great. Got some drinks, had a good time. And then I was like, well, let's do I guess I was thinking of it as a bar crawl, but it was more of kind of like a bar long journey. And because then we went to Little 5 Points, which is like, it's kind of close, like it's maybe like a mile and a half away, but it's not like we're stumbling. It was not stumbling distance. You kind of had to like know what was going on. So we went there. We went to Elmere, which is technically a Mexican restaurant. I mean, it's Mexican in quotes. It's not the best.
Like Taco Bell might be a more Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. It could be kind of a similar level to Taco Bell as well. And they have this amazing drink. I don't know if it's amazing. I love things that are stupid.
It's a drink.
It is a drink. You swallow it. It's liquid.
Okay.
But it's just like a little baby Corona that they put a shot of tequila in. The Grizz.
Yeah.
I love the Grizz. I'm just like, this is disgusting. I love it. And then you can get it in a cart of like 6, and it's
good.
What?
You can just get a little beer thing of it, and you can just have 6. Just 6 beers, and I just love when an alcohol is used as the mixer,
It's good.
Yeah. Like I had this is a drink I had recently, which is even worse, but it was at this fancy cocktail bar, and I like to order the worst things. There was one that had yogurt in it, but I skipped that one. I skipped that one. It was called, this was in London, it was called the Pop-Tart.
We've moved over the gap between drink and food, I think.
Yeah.
At that point.
And then it's a shot of vodka and a Go-Gurt. You're like, no, dude, I'm drawing a line.
Yeah. A little tequila Go-Gurt. Everybody loves that in the UK.
Girls walking around with Go-Gurt like shooter girls.
Yeah.
Oof.
Or just the baby little food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm having some Gerber and rum, baby. I love this shit. But there was drink I had. It was almost like that. It was tequila, red wine, and a pistachio creamy liqueur thing. It was disgusting.
That is terrible.
Yeah, I think they put it on the menu to be like, a stupid American will order this. And I said, yes, I will. Anyway, that was gross. But anyway, so the Grizzes had several mini Grizzes. I don't know. What do you think a group of Grizzes would be called? Like cacophony? No. I don't know. But we'll think about that later. A blackout of Grizzes, yeah. A throw up of Grizzes, I don't know, something. So I had mini Grizzes, and then my boyfriend and I were like, I guess we should go back to Cabbage Town because that is where my house is, and we can sleep there. It's better to sleep in a house than on the ground.
Yes.
In general. That is
usually.
Sorry to be an elitist like that. I'm so sorry to bring my elite.
You know what? I think I'm comfortable saying that I'm that kind of elitist as well.
Yeah, where you're like, a bed. Okay.
I'd rather do a bed.
Rather a bed than a hay bale,
Yeah.
A hay bale. I don't know why. Anyway, now I'm just thinking about Pride and Prejudice.
If you found a hay bale.
Oh, yes, in Atlanta, we have so much tumbleweed hay bales, whatever we have.
Actually, there would be a hay bale in Cabbage Town, just to be ironic.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we're walking back, and this is when the trouble begins, because here I'm quite drunk, also drunk on the fervor of being vaccinated, just yay, whatever. And so I was with my boyfriend at the time, and it was like kind of new in our relationship. and maybe like a couple months in or something. I don't even know if we had said like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend yet or whatever. But, you know, I was trying to be a saucy lady. So as we were walking home, what do saucy ladies do? They get piggyback rides.
Oh,
right?
no.
That's what a saucy lady does.
This is I've seen this happen before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, because that's what hot girls do. They're like, I got to jump on this man's back and call him a piggy. I ride pigs.
Did he know it was coming?
Yeah. Well, that's the issue. He knew it was coming. Because if he didn't. Okay. Because what happened then, though, is we were also kind of on an uphill. So that was already an issue.
Okay.
We're already getting loosey-goosey. I mean,
Bad
it wasn't that
timing.
much of an incline. It was slightly an incline.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to get a piggyback ride or whatever. And then so I jump upon his back. He grabs my legs, but I forget to grab my hands. And this is when I had my real hand, not this one that I have now.
Okay.
I forgot to grab my hands upon his shoulders. You know, I forgot to grasp.
Yeah.
So instead, he's holding my legs, and I just flop back, hitting my head on the sidewalk. Oh no is right. Whoo. Anyway, so
Honestly, it'd be worse if it was a downhill, though.
oh yeah, well, the uphill, I feel like I had more swing to sort of get it.
Momentum.
But we're not here doing
It's
math
hard
on
to
this
say.
podcast.
Yeah.
This
It's
is,
hard
this
to
is
say.
not, again, this is the woman
This isn't
podcast. Now we don't
Mythbusters.
do math. Women don't do math.
You're right. My bad. My bad.
Anyway,
I'm adjusting.
angles, I don't know. But anyway, so what happens then is I get knocked out.
Oh,
That's what
shit.
happens. So now we have my new sort of boyfriend with a knocked out gal just lying on the sidewalk, okay?
Oh, no.
And then I remember I got knocked out. I was also getting quite drunk, but then I don't know how long I was out, maybe like 10 seconds less, I don't know, something. But then when I come to, I can't remember who I'm with. Like I can't.
Oh, no.
It's more like I just couldn't situate what was going on. And so I looked at him and I'm like, okay, he's a man. And I was like, who's a man I can remember? So I was like, Dad. And alas, well, no, it's probably it's for the better that he's not my father, you know. But anyway,
Yeah.
And so then, you know, obviously he's really freaked out,
Yeah.
and then I'm in a shit ton of pain because it hurt. It hurts so bad to like hit your head like that. Anyway, so and we still were probably like a mile away from my house, and then it's also the other thing is it's still like very like high COVID time, so it's kind of like I was really resistant to like going to an emergency room because I'm like it's gonna be filled with disease, and like everyone was like, oh, healthcare workers are killing themselves and life is so bad, there's no help, and also ambulance is obviously very expensive. Yeah. So it was like very
out of the question.
Yeah, very stressful time. So we just walked back with me sobbing the whole time, I think. I mean, I was also drunk and I don't really my head was just
You're grizzed out.
I was grizzed out, knocked out, all of the outs, you know?
Man.
But we eventually get back and I lay down, and it's hard to because I think with concussions it's like you don't want to fall asleep. But I was also drunk, and it was in the night. So
that's like when you want to sleep the most.
that's kind of when you want to sleep. So apparently, my boyfriend, he called my sister, which because here's what happened. Basically, here I am in the bed in horrible pain. It ends up being, it's really bad. I basically this is kind of like Pride and Prejudice, kind of like a Jane Austen thing.
Okay.
I was bedridden for 5 days because of my head injury.
Did you get melancholy?
Oh, yes, very melancholic. I mean, mostly nauseated because that's what head injuries do. They make you really, really nauseated, and I was in like so much pain. And I couldn't like sleep for extended periods of time either. So I was in bed basically I think it was 5 or 6 days. I couldn't get out of bed basically, only to use the bathroom and stuff. So I could use it. I wasn't pissing in my bed. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah.
But that same night, so he's talking to my sister. He hasn't really met my sister, so he's developing a nice little relationship with my sister, being like, should I take her to the hospital? She's like, yeah, take her to the hospital. I was like, but she won't go to the hospital. He's like, she's drunk and has a head injury. Don't listen to her. But anyway, I stay there.
She's saying no to the hospital.
Yeah. Then the next day, And then my sister likes to hold it over my head, being like, I was on the phone all night with him, just trying to make sure. I was like, I think it was 45 minutes, but okay, sure. But then,
like, I can actually check the times.
Yeah, but then the next day, so my dad's a doctor, so we call my dad, and my dad comes over with his girlfriend to make sure that I'm not dying, you know. And I wasn't. I seemed fine, minus the whole like terrible pain.
Yeah.
Probably had some sort of concussion, had whatever. And then my boyfriend got to meet my dad. How beautiful. You know, what a nice time to meet the folks. You know, here's my dad who's like, yeah, you're not dead. Look. That's kind of the doctor my dad is. He's like, yeah, you seem to be alive still. So that's great. So then I was in just incredible pain, just bedridden. And I felt it was so bad. It was like I should have gone to the hospital. I should have. And I do have a conspiracy theory about my own self, which I have really bad memory now. And I think it was the concussion and then the all the melatonin I used to take. I think it's the melatonin. Okay.
Why would it be
I'm like,
melatonin?
it's not the vaccine. It's the melatonin. That's what it is, guys.
It's gotta be the fucking melatonin.
It's got to be the melatonin. And
I mean,
then
you might have Antonio Browned yourself. Just change your whole personality.
Yeah, I was actually quite different before,
Yeah.
you know? I used to actually have a very high-pitched voice, and I was like, hello, it's me, Gabbie, and then I had the concussion, now I'm down here. Yeah, now I like Nickelback. It's so weird. I don't know what's happened. But then here's the little, so I didn't die, so that's cool.
That's good.
But at that point, I was like, yeah, I didn't really think about the whole, like, maybe you shouldn't drink to the point where you forget to use your hands when you're getting a piggyback ride. You know, like, I feel like maybe that was a question I could have asked myself. And then kind of the kicker to it, too, was like this was in, like 3.5 years ago or something. And I was maybe like 3 years into stand up, 2 of which were kind of like erased because of the pandemic or whatever. Yeah. And so I was still like a needy, thirsty little open micer for the most part, and I had at the end of basically a week after I had my head injury, I had been booked on the Laughing Skull, like one of their shows. Okay, and that's a big thing at the moment because you're like, I want to get past, I want to do a good job or whatever. It took me like a year to get past, I think, but and now I get to do one show every 3 months or whatever it is. But yay! No, it's good. Ian, love you.
Don't worry, he's not listening.
No. But I was like so desperate to do, it was like 2 shows. I was so desperate to do them that I didn't cancel them. And so, but I was still very like head injury adjacent. I was still like I could stand up and walk now, but I couldn't. I was still kind of out of it, and it was like it hurt. But I had to be very like gentle when I was sitting down. I had to be like just sort of lower.
Jesus Christ!
But I was
dude,
like, but I
slammed your fucking head.
Yeah, but I was like, but I gotta get past at the Laughing Skull Lounge. I can't have them mad at me for missing the show.
Oh my God!
But then, so I went and did the shows, and I don't mean to brag, I bombed twice really badly.
Nice. Hey.
Thank you.
By the way,
thank you, my fans.
As somebody who has gotten over a concussion within the last 7 days, that was a bad concussion. Because mine, like, I was a little foggy, but I was going up a couple days later, no problem.
Yeah. When
Damn.
you're saying
What did you do?
Move my head.
Oh,
that's not
yeah.
good.
No, I mean, I slammed my whole face and restructured.
Oh
a couple
yeah, that's
teeth.
what. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
But I shifted teeth.
Oh.
So I hit hard, but I wasn't like bedridden. I was bedridden for a day.
Damn. Yeah. One day,
That's-
maybe I'll just suddenly
you
die
must
one day because I'm
you
like
must
some like
have hit.
unknown head thing.
That is a hard fucking head
Yeah.
injury. Jesus.
That's when you're saying you don't want to move your head around, that's a bad head injury.
Yeah, because it was like anyway, you just get so nauseated, it hurts so bad, and then it was really quite unfortunate.
I didn't have a head injury, but I definitely have had a piggyback incident.
Keegan, you're telling me you haven't had one head
I've
injury?
had head injuries, but no, I've had the same thing happen.
But you haven't been in a 5 to 7 day bedridden like a lady in a Jane Austen novel. Oh.
I was on a date with a girl, and she jumped on my back but didn't say anything, and I fucking ate shit.
Oh,
and she
no.
rode me to the ground because she had her arms around me, and I didn't catch myself. I did nothing. It was so embarrassing. It was over there by Black Horse or Dark Horse.
Oh yeah, in Virginia Highlands.
In front of there was so many people outside.
Yeah.
Some lady
I'm
just
sure
rode me to the ground.
Just like the little pig you are, you know?
Oh my God.
Oink, oink. Damn. Well, that's probably not. I feel like at Dark Horse, there's probably at least 5 falls like that every day.
When you look around, you're like, all right.
Yeah, that basement is actually, it's so dark because they don't want to show you all the blood stains that are on the bottom. The dank rock and roll karaoke basement.
It's a karaoke place?
With a live band.
Yeah, they do live band karaoke. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in close proximity in a basement.
Yeah, I don't.
People are screaming.
Yeah, I don't like regular karaoke. I feel like if I did karaoke with a band, I would disappoint the band so hard.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They've heard very, very bad
I've never
karaoke.
thought about that. When you're sucking, you turn around, the band's just
the band
They're
is like, oh, man, why did you make me play this for you?
Yeah, well, some of them, I mean, they definitely, the few times I've been, there's definitely a few people who suck, but then there's a lot of people who are like the regulars who are like, I know the song. Like, they're the people who, like, majored in musical theater but never made it. And they're like, this is where I shine, is at karaoke.
That's so much sadder than bombing so bad that the band hates you.
Oh, God. Here's also the few times I've done musical comedy. I've bombed doing musical comedy, and that is so bad.
What do you mean musical?
Because you have to commit.
I have a guitar, or sometimes because I was making this, like, the other thing about the pandemic that was bad was just I almost became a white internet rapper. I mean, I did briefly. Horrible. Okay, I shouldn't be a white internet rapper. I shouldn't, but I was.
Nobody should be.
Yeah, nobody should be.
There is a pull. As a white person, there's a pull.
Yeah. We have to get the... I was going to say...
dude.
I was gonna say we gotta get the white people together to tell us not to. But I was like, don't get the white people. Don't put us together.
White people are done.
Yeah,
getting
no,
together.
let's not get together.
We shouldn't group
white
too
people
much.
can't get together. Dude.
Yeah.
This is probably about the biggest gathering of whites there should be.
Yeah, there should be. Yeah, if we have one more, we
That's
might
why
get
that guy
ideas.
was chasing down the car. He was like, "How many people are in this car? 2? Absolutely not."
Well, yeah, because I guess he heard me with the Nickelback, and he was like, "That's
Yeah.
a lot of a lot of powerful white energy coming from this lady right here."
Yeah, the cookout energy shifted. Nickelback.
Yeah. Well, here's even the worst thing about Nickelback. It is true. I didn't grow up listening to Nickelback. It's only recently where I'm just like, these are good songs. They're not good, but I enjoy listening to them. I don't know. I think maybe it's like I enjoy, I guess, because I feel like Nickelback, they have a lot of hits, but then their deep cuts are so bad. You know, it's good they're deep, that they're just like buried. Like, you shouldn't. Because eventually it just gets to sort of just like, I liked this girl and she was super young. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? They go to that Kings of Leon did that too.
Yeah.
You like listen to a Kings of Leon deep track. And he's like, she's 15. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like probably a lot of dudes. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, a lot
I'd
of, Warped Tour. I think that was the
yeah,
whole thing.
that's the whole thing.
That was the whole
I'm
thing.
a sad emo boy and I only like 12-year-olds. Yeah, because
you
we're
can't
at the
have a
same
meet and
emotional
greet.
maturity. 12-year-olds just get me, you know?
Yeah. She understands, dude. She knew every
Yeah.
word.
She's
Bro, I
like,
can't imagine talking to a 12-year-old for 10 minutes.
Dog, I talk to 20-year-olds at my job, and it's crazy. Like, it really
what
is.
are they saying? Any intel?
Sometimes I listen to these two people talk back and forth about music, and I had no idea who they were talking about. I was like Googling who they were saying. I was like, usually I know who they're speaking of, and I was like, I have no idea. I'm out of the loop. I also don't want to be that old dude that tries to butt in or hang out with the young people.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing tonight?
I mean, you're currently hanging out with babies, so that's pretty young.
You are you're kind of locked into that at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the baby shows on all the time. My buddy was like, "Do you play baby music?" I was like, "No."
Yeah,
I'm gonna resist as long as I can.
When we were setting up in the garage, Billy had his baby. The baby Willig was there.
The baby Willie has made an appearance.
So it's my favorite way to say it.
Yeah, it's a baby Willie.
So baby Willig's there, and she is not having the setup for the show. She's not enjoying it. So they had to turn on, what is it? Fucking some lady on YouTube who just must be like,
Rachel or something.
yeah, Miss Rachel. This lady has to be like a bazillionaire from YouTube. Like, the video we're watching has like 80 million views.
Every kid thing that you put on has,
And the
like,
one on the side has like 240 million views. And it's
just
like
from
there's
people playing them over and over just to
and
shut a kid up.
It's yeah. And it's just a lady talking in a way, like if a lady talked to me that way, I would be upset by it. I'd be like, why are you being so condescending right now? But she's just like talking in a nice voice for kids.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
It's crazy.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Bro,
Like, my
your
brother's
YouTube
just-
algorithm's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could all we should transition into kids podcasting because it is where there's more money is kids
would be
programming. But I don't know
I
what those
mean,
people like. Those little
kids
ones.
podcasting. Yeah, what do you talk about?
I think like
Yeah,
cool.
the Nick Tigges dinosaur segment.
Well, I think it is a
Yeah,
lot of.
we could do that. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it is
dude.
like cool, like science fun facts. I feel like that's big with kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like, oh,
Yeah.
did you know this?
I mean,
That's
my
crazy.
nephew watches this video, and it's a kid playing with his toys, and it's like a point of view, and it's just they literally put a GoPro on this kid's head, and he's just playing with like dinosaurs, and they make noises, and somebody's getting fucking paid because it has like 100 million views.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and it has terrible production. But then it's like you're going, I don't know. Then you got
I mean, I could outproduce this.
yeah, but then you got to like. Then you're just in
a
that
ring
world
light or
of like
two
a
in there.
child influencer. Like what a dark
Yeah.
world that is.
Child influencer. That's the new Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Unboxing. Dude, that shit's sad.
In 20 years,
Yeah, the kids are going to be like, I just had to fucking open boxes.
there were unboxing video sweatshops.
I don't understand that. The unboxing videos, I really don't understand it. I don't get that, and I don't like ASMR.
You don't.
Like, it doesn't bother me, but it's like I'll just be watching a video of somebody clicking their nails. I'm like, who is
Yeah.
this for?
Well, I think it's ASMR. What it is I think it makes people slightly horny. Slightly. Like, because it's like a tickle. It's an audio
That makes
tickle.
more sense.
That does
So,
make more sense.
I think
Yeah.
that's people just get,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm just talking about myself. I don't know.
Like, that makes a lot more sense.
I was trying to
Gabby's just
People.
listening to porn at work.
Yeah. That makes more sense. I was like,
That's
this
how
is
she
just
lost
for-
the hand, actually.
Yeah, that's
listening
like-
to ASMR at her machine shop job.
You know, a classic ASMR job. You know, we're just like, I'm gonna slice my arm off. You know, just
I mean,
surgery ASMR. That's probably a thing.
absolutely. It has to be.
Bro, how scared would you be if you're going down for surgery and your surgeon turned on ASMR to like go, like as you're going under?
Well, yeah, they do like listen to music and
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't like
It's
that
all
at all.
Nickelback.
I don't like that at all.
What's the last thing you want to hear right as you're like you're counting down and you hear the playlist come on?
Just
What's
Mastodon. You're
what's
like,
the word?
No. Okay, oh, that'd be fine, maybe.
Raining Blood by Slayer?
Yeah, just I don't know. It's all Taylor Swift or something. It's like, what is this 60-year-old neurosurgeon?
Oh
listen
my
to Taylor
God,
Swift?
bro! We had a wedding DJ this weekend that was out of control. Speaking of karaoke, at the wedding, he doesn't know anybody in the wedding. Like I thought he was like a friend of the people. He starts karaokeing over the rap songs. All white wedding. He keeps hitting the N-word every time that it comes up, a black dude. And then he's got on the microphone and he starts telling this one
is
lady,
my tip.
dude, he's like, oh, look at these. You got some cheeks. You got some cheeks
Oh,
on the. We got some cheeks on the floor.
Oh,
and I was
no.
just sitting there like, what? And the bride was like, happening? I had to go get the microphone. I had to be like, yo, you can't talk on the microphone. Like, you can't ask somebody's aunt like where her
Yeah.
cheeks are at, dude.
Yeah.
It was bad. And then he
Wow.
just like he fumbled every fucking transition on every song.
Really?
Yes, it was like some people
He
would be dancing and they'd stop. And be
He
like,
was
"What?"
more of an MC than a
Yeah,
DJ.
it was rough. I was like, how the fuck does this guy get paid? And he got wasted too. Just got
Mm.
wasted. I was like, is this guy gonna get paid? Dude?
I think he was just having a fun night.
Yeah, I had his
Yeah.
glasses on.
He was like, "Oh, cool! I got invited to a wedding." It's like, no, we're paying you to be at this wedding.
I mean, you're
Play
not
some
gonna
songs.
when you see what I'm doing, you're not gonna. But I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
That's just a guy who loves life.
Yeah, he was loving it. He was the only one loving it. I was
I
like,
mean-
wow,
I mean-
I've never seen somebody ruin.
I would have fun watching that from the outside perspective. I think
It was a train wreck. I was like, this guy
Yeah.
is fucking terrible.
a train wreck is fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, and how hard is it to be a wedding DJ? You just have to play like a Spotify playlist, like wedding,
Yeah.
Cupid Shuffle, Electric Slide, like
I mean, it must be hard looking at all that love, you know? It maybe makes you feel more alone and turns him to the drink. And then he's got to yell at older white women about their cheeks.
Like, what a weird thing. And then when I looked out on the dance floor, it was like literally this old lady where I was just like, fucking inappropriate, dude. Like, what are you doing?
That lady doesn't even know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like.
He's like, no, she likes it.
Yeah. She loves this.
Nah, she gave me her number earlier.
Yeah.
It's actually just a life alert.
Call this number if I fall down on the dance floor.
If my cheeks get too low, Mr. DJ, you will have to press this button.
Yeah. I used to work with a girl that cried every wedding. She's
just
like, dude, she would like cry and be like talking about stuff. I'd be like, bro, you gotta fucking stop
At a
crying.
point, you don't get to work weddings
Yeah,
anymore.
like you gotta quit crying, bro. That's not helping our tips.
You can work bar mitzvahs from now on.
I mean, that's you could cry at those too.
What do you think is the worst bomb that you've had in comedy? Do you think it's a music? Is it a music bomb? Because you got to go all in with the music.
Yeah, that's the committing to music and being stuck. Holy shit.
I was just kidding. I have my real hands. It just was getting this was getting a bit itchy and stuff.
I am shocked how long you kept it.
I know.
To be honest.
I really, but now I'm not proud of myself anymore. This is my worst bomb now.
I mean, that was 45 minutes.
That was
solid.
of the hand. Wow. It does feel like mine now. Oh, you can do this when you're lonely.
You think I don't?
We're in love. And then you have it just, Anyway, my worst bomb. Oh, there's so many. The worst one. I think, one that made me cry a lot. It's okay. I guess. Worst.
I mean, the one that made you cry a lot I feel like that has to be the worst.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it could have also just been. It was early in comedy, and it was like, so here's the thing. Here's a hack for comedy. If for all of you listen who want to start comedy, be gay the first year you're doing comedy, because then you get a lot of bookings. Okay, just be. You just have to be gay for a year. When people first meet you, just be gay, okay? Because at the time when I started comedy, I was dating a woman, okay? And it was the first time I ever dated a woman. I was like, a baby queer, bleh, whatever. And so I was dating her, and then that relationship was very bad, and she would often get mad at me for not like representing queer people well on stage, where I'm just like, I'm only a few months into comedy. I don't represent anybody well. I don't suddenly.
I have 5 minutes.
It's like I'm
not representing myself well on stage.
Yeah, exactly. I've done comedy for like
these jokes.
done comedy for 6 months, been gay for 3 months. I don't know. This is hard for me. I don't know. I'm not the voice of a generation right now. Okay, I'm not the voice of anybody. So she would get really mad at me about queer stuff, and then I would feel bad about myself, and that's because she's a dumb, stupid bitch anyway. But it's fine. I'm not bitter about it. It's only been like 6 years.
If that sentence, if you took it to the 90s, would be hilarious. She kept getting mad at me about queer stuff.
Queer stuff,
But that stupid bitch.
That stupid bitch. Yeah, I've become very homophobic now that I've been,
Nice.
partially gay. But
well, you're allowed to.
Thank you. Yes, that is my privilege.
I'm not allowed to. See?
Yeah, yeah. I like how silent you two got. That's great. No, But anyway, so then I was at an open mic. It was the Laughing Skull open mic, and this comic went on before Allison Carroll. She's very funny. She used to run Limerick Junction. And so she went up, did a good job. The audience was mostly like a bunch of, what I discovered was a bunch of lesbians who worked in the theater world. Okay. So then I went up and I was trying to do my new little kind of hacky gay jokes or whatever. And then they all just like crossed their arms, and one of them booed me.
Oh.
And so because I was trying to pick, because Allison kind of was doing some bits about, she was like dating a man at the time, but she kind of looked pretty gay, but she had a gay haircut, basically. And so she was doing all these sort of like gay jokes. I was trying to riff off of her stuff, which don't riff when you're new into comedy, just stick to the script. Okay. That was the first error. Yeah. And then I was making some jokes. They didn't work. Those people, they got mad at me, and I was like, oh, my own people turning against me. They hate me. No one's accepting me for who I am, especially the queers. Anyway, so I got off stage and I cried and I cried. I was so upset about it. But I was fair. They were not good jokes, I imagine, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was the saddest one, I think. But it was just because of like the personal stuff going on. But I recently did 40 minutes of musical comedy, and it was silent the whole time, so that was pretty bad.
What?
I mean, they went, and there weren't that many people there. Obviously, who would want to listen to me doing 40 minutes of musical comedy? But sometimes I really get in like a headspace of like musical comedy. That's where like my lane of genius is in, or whatever. And then I started doing it again, and I'm just like, oh, never mind. This is also hard, and it's more embarrassing when you bomb because you're like, I brought a thing with me, you know, I brought a prop.
Yeah. I had to do sound check. We sound checked this guitar.
Exactly. It's doing a sound check. So embarrassing in comedy.
No response. You're just looking at the sound guy like, I'm sorry we did this.
Yeah, and then you're just like, you got to be there early. Oh. That's horrible. Because I used to be in bands. That was the worst thing about bands. Is just you have to be there like 4 hours before you play to sound check and all this bullshit. And then their culture is more kind of like those people, the musicians, you know, they're all about staying for everyone's show, like everyone's set. Where that's what I love about comedy. We're not about that. Yeah. We're not. Some people look at stand-ups and they like, I've heard this from people who are not stand-ups. They're like, you guys just really don't care about anybody else, and I'm just like, yeah, who gives a shit?
Correct.
Or it's also like, I've seen these people's bits so many times. Yeah. Like I don't need to see it. And it's also like, we are also performing, you know, you could be performing like 3 to 4 times a night if you were really hustling or whatever, but you know, we got things to do, you know, and that's what I love about it. You can just like, I don't need to see this person. This is great. I love that.
I'll see him eventually.
Yeah, I'll see him eventually. Oh, you got a new bit? I'm gonna see
them at some point.
Yeah,
if they stick around, and if they don't stick around, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But you also got to trick the new ones, because then you're like, oh yeah, come to my show, support. So we have an audience at all, because as a producer, I can't get one.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
That's why I do this instead of live show production.
Yeah, live show is producing. That's even a worse bomb, I feel like, is when you produce a show that nobody comes to.
Oh my God.
And then you like, I always try to like fake an attitude, but then I get it very like, I'm just like, we're having a great time, right? Please say we're having a good time. Please.
Especially if you got people to come from out of town. When I did shows in Savannah and it'd be a light night, you're like, damn it, dude. This dude drove down from Atlanta and I got 30 people here. This sucks.
Oh, yeah. I had
30s.
That's good.
But
that's
in a brewery, when
that's really
you've set it for like 150, it looks bad in a giant room. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, I've run one of those shows.
Yeah, you're
before.
like, take that back row.
I've run
out.
a few of those shows.
Take the last back rows out.
Really, as producers, we should just put out like 5 chairs at a time. These are the only chairs. Oh, the next ones. Because or just sort of like the front row. I think maybe it should be a given that no one's gonna sit there. So just like put it too close and then like take them out right before the show starts to be like, ha 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 ha, I tricked you. I love to trick people. No, I don't. I hate it, but we have to do it. That's what marketing's all about.
You have to
come to the most of the Atlanta's best comedians. It's gonna be the best ones. It's literally the best ones, and the best ones are always on.
They're hilarious, and then they bomb. You're like, God damn. I'm out here vouching for you.
That's why I respect, like, Mello says the same thing for every single person, no matter what. So now it doesn't mean anything anytime he says it.
This is a funny dude. Coming up.
They're funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Give it up for
that is exactly what he says. They're funny as fuck. Yeah, Mello's definitely. I think music would be tough because act outs are hard. When you bomb on an act out and you do an entire act out, that sucks. You just look out at blank faces. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. Or even just how... I mean, it is cowardly, but I feel like the few longer jokes I have, I rarely do them because you usually don't have like an opportunity to do them. Mm-hmm. But those are so hard too because I'm like, if they don't bite at the beginning, you're like, well... Yeah, we got 5 minutes of this shit about
y'all are gonna
gay penguins. I'm so sorry.
Y'all are gonna hate this gay penguin act out.
You guys are gonna hate, So
I dropped one last night because of that. Because like I did the first part and I got nothing at all. I was like, I'm gonna abandon this right now, and then I shamed the audience for not biting. On the early part, I'm like, see, I'm not doing this whole bit, this life story. because you guys didn't like it.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
No, I'm sorry.
It was one of those nights.
Now they're all going to therapy about it. They're like,
They are.
We didn't like Trent's bit. Now we're ruined.
Yup. Yup. Made him very sad.
Yeah.
What bit was
No, I
it? The
did.
family stuff?
No, slap drills. Have I told you that story? I can.
Just tell me after this.
No, it's just I learned about a thing in the Army, a thing that happened in basic training that was like particularly weird and interesting, which was lining people up and making them slap each other as hard as they could, is not actually a part of basic training.
It's just a fun
It was just
addition.
like 6 drill sergeants were bored with a bunch of people in a field. And they had a couple hours, and they're like, let's make them slap the shit out of each other because it's fun.
I mean, I don't condone that because that's fucked up, but that must have been hilarious for them to watch.
I watched a dude slap a lady in the name of
What?
that. Because that was the rule. It's you slap, and then if you don't do it hard enough because they're watching, you get one more try. And if you don't slap hard enough the second time, then the drill sergeant steps in and does it. And one girl just wouldn't slap her partner hard enough.
Yeah, that's just drill sergeants doing fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
crazy.
fucked up.
Pretty fun, though. It's pretty...
Would you rather, do you want to go first or second?
I think I went first.
See, that's a tough one because you're like trying to like gauge like whether or not you're gonna both slap the shit out of each other.
You want to go just hard enough that they're not going to say anything, but like you don't want to go so hard that like that guy's mad at you now because that guy knows where you sleep.
Yeah.
I have a lot of slapping performance anxiety because I don't think I have full control of my limbs all the time. So then I feel like slap it, like it's a lot of aim. And how embarrassing if you were like slapping as hard as you could and they're like, that's not hard enough. It's like, I literally can't.
That's all
like,
I got.
I literally can't match.
Well, the trick is to like throw your shoulder into it, but then kind of slow down the hand. Make it look like you're really swinging.
Okay.
So it'd be good to have like loose ligaments.
Yeah. Like make it look like it's coming from the body, but that's just a weird motion I did.
I've only been slapped once in my life.
Really?
Yeah. My dad slapped me.
Your dad slapped?
Yeah, dude. My dad in the kitchen one time, I was arguing with my mom, and he was like, hey, don't cuss at your mom. And we were back to arguing, and I said, fuck, and I just got slapped. And, dude, it happened so fast, my mom's face was just like...
I mean, you deserved it.
Oh, yeah, totally. But my ears were ringing.
He
It was
warned
that whole,
you.
like, wee. Like, yeah. That's the only time I've ever been slapped. I don't think...
Really? I mean, you've been punched, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you when you were drinking. You've been punched.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then I dated a girl that hit me one time, and she, like, rocked me. I was like, oh, my God. Like, everybody was like, Jesus. I was like, somebody step in. Like, I cannot have another one of those, dude. She rocked me. I was like, God damn.
You guys don't know her like I do.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that hurt. Please help me. That was where I lived at that house, and we were getting in this fight, and my neighbor came outside and set a chair up and was watching us fight in the front yard. I was like, God damn it, dude, we're so white trash.
That's
Wow.
I was so mad too, and I looked over and he's just sitting there. I was like, all right, like I can't be mad at you, but
I feel like, was that when you were smoking cigarettes too? Because that
Oh,
feels
yeah.
like a smoking cigarette kind of fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yelling at a lady with a cigarette between your fingers.
Yeah. That was when we were smoking in that house.
Ooh.
Smoking inside is rough.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I forget how white trash you used to be sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. I've grown.
You've grown. Now you got 2 little girls.
I mean, you had to.
Oh, God. At least I had 2 girls. I don't know what they're going to be like in school because I was so bad in school. I just misbehaved all the time. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Are you excited about
Fatherhood.
your show?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show? Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Should be good.
Yesterday, for people who are
Yes,
listening to this as it
yesterday. The
comes
show
out.
was
You
so
missed it.
good. You missed it. It's so sad. So
It's-
sad for you. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. It was probably the biggest night of our lives with Atlanta's best comedians. And it was absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah. Because I think the whole Nickelback thing is now, basically, I want to do this bit at the end where we play I have these plants. It's going to be a fake plant. And what the bit is just basically being like, oh, I kill all the plants I've ever had. And one of my friends was like, oh, actually, if you have good vibes and if you sing to the plants, then maybe they grow better sometimes. You know, if they're like in a happy house, which I'm like, that's fucking impossible for me. Are you kidding me? Like, shut the fuck up, okay? But anyway, so then I want to then suddenly just have Nickelback playing, and then I sing to do a karaoke version of How You Remind Me, and then it really just keeps going, and then I want to get the other people on the show to sing like a second verse, and then I have Carter Deems on the show, and he's been doing a trumpet bit, so I want him to jump in and do a trumpet. Then I want somebody else, Isaiah, my boyfriend, now to come on, and because he's very good at karaoke, and it's not embarrassing, don't worry. And then he sings it, and then I just want people, and then I also, it's my 33rd birthday, and that's the Dear Jesus Died or whatever, and so I'm also tomorrow I have to build a crucifix. I just got a lot to do before the show. Okay, so I have a crucifix that I want to bring on the stage. And don't worry, listeners, it all turned out beautifully, I'm sure, right? Yeah. It's not too much. It's not too many ideas, okay?
The crown of thorns was a nice touch.
I was bleeding everywhere, but it was like, so everyone loved it. They were like, yay.
It was very like hardcore wrestling.
Yeah, it was very, very hardcore. And then I want to drag it on there, and I want to get crucified at the end. Here's the crucifix. Here's the crucifix ideas. One idea is I assemble it before the show, and then enter with it, me dragging it, you know, kind of like Jesus doing the thing. I'll
like
get
the
some.
Passion of the Christ.
Do you know any Romans?
Like a Chekhov's cross situation.
Yeah, I need some Romans to be whipping me a little bit too. But it's so hard to find a Roman just like at last minute like this, willy nilly. Anyway, but if you find one, maybe those guys
I see one,
down the street.
I'll let them.
Yeah, and so. Either I could do that, or I was thinking too, I could have two boards up there and then have people at the end of their sets nail it in the middle so we all build the crucifix together. That might be too much though. Just because it's going to be a lot of nailing.
Yeah, and you're really betting on comedians being able to use a hammer.
Yeah, and I feel like injuries could occur. And then I might have to pull a Damon Lee and have that, like little forms you have to fill out.
Yeah, there's
his show
liability.
I'm never doing his show again, the Hot Pepper Show, because I ate the whole fucking thing and then I couldn't sleep for 5 hours because I felt like a rotisserie chicken on fire was in my stomach. It was just.
Are you supposed to eat the whole thing?
I don't think so, but I did. Because I like to, go above and beyond, right? And be in pain. That's my favorite thing.
An achiever.
But so, there's a lot of, crucifixion, Nickelback, pretty white trash at the end of the day as well. Honestly, it's going to be a pretty white trash show.
Is this in a trailer park? Where are you doing this?
I mean, Dynamic El Dorado, basically.
Basically, yeah. It's
just kidding, Miguel. It's great.
It's Edgewood's trailer park.
Yeah, but it's good. I like it. I think it's fun. It's like so. I feel like it's kind of like a good place for comedy too because it's like small, which I think that's like ideal of just having these sort of like lower ceilings, intimate setting. Like I don't understand why people would go to like an arena comedy show. Like it seems that it'd be so like. Yeah. It's like ridiculous. There's nothing there. You just watch it on TV. You can't really connect. It's kind of like even large clubs because there's like the new Helium, which I think is like $350 or something.
Yeah,
400.
I mean that feels like about as big as a.
Yeah, it seems like that's the most you could be intimate at. You know, just fucking 350
and then it's
people.
Gotta be built to accommodate that. You know what I mean? Like it has to be built for.
It has to be set up.
Yeah, it has to be set up like a club.
But tomorrow is. I mean, the show. That was yesterday. Was my mom came.
It really. I mean, I can't believe that it went so well that the cops were called on a noise complaint. And that was crazy. And then they just left because it was such a cool show and they appreciated it.
No, they stayed. They called all of the cops.
They actually. All went off duty.
Yeah, and then we all boxed them inside of Dynamic El Dorado and burned it down. Whoopsies. Oh no, we don't have any cops anymore. Yeah. Oopsies. I killed everyone.
Too bad for Mikkel's insurance.
Yeah. But if it's cops, it cancels out, I think. I don't know. But yeah. But if you are a cop and you want to come to the show, too bad. It was yesterday.
You missed it.
You got the special today, right? It's out.
Yeah, it's out on Friday.
Yep, that's today.
That's today.
Today.
Because it's Friday.
It's Friday today.
Yeah,
yes.
today the special is out. I mean, it's not that special. It's fine. It's okay. I would say it's 30 minutes mostly. It's mostly 30 plus minutes. And with the album, I realized here's the issue. Have y'all recorded special type things?
We just tried, some of us, and I heard one piece of feedback from several people who tried and failed, and I tried to cover up that mistake. So I'm curious to see if you're going to give me a different one.
Here's the issue I did is that I did several physical bits. And so I have a distribution like label for the audio, and then the video I'm just going to put on my YouTube so like 5 people can watch it or whatever. But I did a lot of physical bits, which then if you listen to them, you have no idea what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
You know? And like I've listened to comedy albums where it's kind of like you can hear, like they do a physical act out or something, and you can kind of intuit what they're doing. But when I was listening back to mine, I'm just like, I was like, what the? I don't even know what I'm doing in this instance.
Which part is this?
And the fun part about the album, like the audio version of it, I do a disclaimer at the beginning because I have a lot of anxiety. Just being like, hey, the titular, how do you say that? Titular. Can't even say that bit. The bit, it's called boing. And that bit is a physical bit. That's the last, it's the closer. And you don't know what's happening. Because basically what it is, it's me saying like, I'm doing slapstick humor, and then I lift up my tits and go boing, oing, 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 and it's very stupid. But they don't know I'm lifting up my tits, so they have no idea. But I do that in the disclaimer. I'm like, hey, guys, you're not going to know what the fuck's happening, so go to my YouTube and then go watch it there. You know? We're doing a cross-platform promotion. But so that I just thought that was funny of just being like, oh, I didn't think about like the various formats it could be distributed in, and I think I could have done some better writing that would have kept audio listeners in mind, which is dumb because I work in podcasting that I didn't think to do that. You know,
I like having the forward. That's
so I have that.
Yeah.
And I took out this bit that I've been doing that I think unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, I've been, you know, people have been like, oh, you're that person who does that bit. It's I get humped by the stool. So instead of humping the stool, I get humped. And that one I took off completely from the album just because it was also like I hadn't been doing it very long because it was a high risk bit to do. When I first started doing it, and now I kind of have it more figured out. Basically, I'm better at standing up and laying down and coming. It's like the physical part. I would get out of breath when I was doing it, just laying down and then like standing up again. Anyway, but so that it's better now. And then when I was doing it, it was kind of like messy. So it's you can't. When I was listening back to it, I'm like, this sounds so bad. Like this sounds so disorganized. But when you have the visual side of it, I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. But that's in like the video version.
The YouTube part.
And where did you shoot it?
Dynamic Eldorado.
Yeah.
But I hung up my special curtain that I got from Jeff Bezos. Thank you so much. That's hot pink and sparkly. So that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Just so they know that I'm a girl. It's a girl.
Make it clear.
Because I used to be a tomboy, or it's what they call them now is a non-binary youth, I think is what I was.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on.
That was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, everyone listen today to my special
Listen
called
now.
Boing. Wherever you listen to shit.
Keegan is going to link it, I assume.
Yes. I'll link it up for you.
Amazing. I love a link.
Hell yeah. We did it.
Thank you.